Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. As you always know, when the NBA season starts, some players do a lot better than expected or a lot worse than expected. And in NBA 2K23, they do their bi-weekly roster update. What I'm going to do is cover all the major changes for the first roster update of NBA 2K23 that dropped today and cover all my opinions about them. If you like this kind of content, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it, man. Starting, as we always do, with the Philadelphia 76ers. So Joel Embiid goes down 1, Tyrese Maxey goes +1, and DeAnthony Melton goes +1. This team rating-wise is not doing anywhere near as close as it wants to do for the year. I mean, we expected Joel Embiid to be an MVP candidate, and he's had a pretty slow start. I think James Harden's been playing as expected, maybe a little higher than this. But Tyrese Maxey goes up 1. He's had pretty big games so far this season. He's looking very, very solid. An 86 overall, I think, is pretty fair for him. And DeAnthony Melton, who was an underrated pickup from the start, bro. He was averaging 11 points last season, and then the Sixers added him. Like, it was a dub for the Sixers. He's had a good start. So this team is getting the ratings that I kind of expected them to get. The only person I thought should have gone up is James Harden, personally. For the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Brook Lopez +1. Brook Lopez is essential for this team to succeed, especially because Chris Middleton's been out. They needed someone to step up outside of Drew Holiday and Giannis, and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, who both got a +1, have stepped up. It's essential for this team to have everyone playing well, even without Chris Middleton, and that's why they're undefeated in the NBA right now, because of these two players right here. For the Chicago Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu has been getting a lot of minutes because Lonzo Ball has been injured. He's actually starting for the Bulls now, going +1 to a 77 overall. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes even higher than this. So great for Dosunmu. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, so Darius Garland has not been able to play because of injury. I think he just came back yesterday against the Celtics. But Donovan Mitchell's been playing out of his mind. +3 for the man to a 91 overall. He is now entering the 90 overall club for the first time in his career. Donovan Mitchell is him. He is such a good player. Imagine when this entire team is healthy and playing consistently. It's going to be terrifying. Also on this team, Jarrett Allen goes -1, and then we also have Kevin Love +1, and then Dean Wade goes +3. Those are the major changes for this team. Oh, and Isaac Okoro -2. But that's, he's 21 years old. You got to wait for him. But overall, a couple changes for this team. Nothing compares to the absolute importance of Donovan Mitchell being a 91 overall is crazy. Now, for the Boston Celtics, we have Jason Tatum going +1, Jaylen Brown going +1, and Al Horford going -1. Those are the pretty big ones on this team. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are playing out of their mind. This is still one of the NBA Finals favorites. They're such a good team still. Would not be surprised if everyone keeps upgrading throughout the year. These two are averaging both 25 and 30. They're playing out of their minds. Of course, they're going to be rated high. And this is a 94 overall, is the highest Jason Tatum's ever been. And you keep going on this team. Horford's not doing great, but he's getting pretty older. Derek White goes to a 77. He actually goes down. And then Pritchard also goes down to a 75, so -1 for him as well. And then I believe Noah Vonleh -3. So we have a lot of downgrades for this team, but the important players, the best players, are going up, and that's all that matters. And for the Los Angeles Clippers, we have John Wall going +1. We have Norman Powell going -2, and Reggie Jackson also going -2. Pretty big downgrades for this team. It's kind of difficult to rate them because Kawhi is basically eternally hurt, and so we never know how they're going to play together. But I think Ty Lue's an underrated coach. I think they win games more than people expect them to, and Paul George is playing well. So it's good that John Wall's going up. He might even hit the 80 overall club this year. We'll see. For the Memphis Grizzlies, we have Ja Morant 94 overall. He goes to a +1 for this roster. So him and Jason Tatum are tied at 94. Ja Morant's looking like a borderline MVP candidate, so not shocking that he's going up. Desmond Bane +3. He's an 86 overall now, highest he's ever been. He's scoring more than he's ever scored in his career, playing out of his mind. A shock. I didn't think he'd be this good, but he is. And then Steven Adams -2. He is getting older, but still 80 overall is still around accurate to where he belongs. And then the big one is Santi Aldama back here, +4. He's first of all a starter, and he's playing really good minutes in the starting position, hitting threes, actually having a pretty quick first step for how tall he is. It's impressive what he's doing for the Grizzlies. For the Hawks, not major changes. It's Clint Capella goes -3, so now making him the 4th best player on the team. firmly. Besides that, with this team, there's really nothing else to really talk about. Everyone hasn't changed. For the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo and also Kyle Lowry go -1, and that is the only changes for the Miami Heat. And to be completely fair, I think that's fine. I don't think anyone else needs to be upgraded or downgraded. I think this is more or less around where they should be in the first place. So for the Charlotte Hornets, we have Kelly Oubre goes down 1, which people were saying he needed to go up 1, so it's kind of interesting. Nick Richards goes +3 to a 76 overall. Jalen McDaniels goes +3 as well to a 76 overall. And besides that, no major changes for a team that has most of their roster missing, either in jail or injured. It is what it is with this team. For the Utah Jazz, we have Lauri Markkanen. He goes +4 to an 82 overall, making him the best player on the Utah Jazz, who are having an extremely impressive start this season. Mike Conley goes -1, and then Colin Sexton goes +1. And then we have Walker Kessler +5, who's getting extremely important minutes for the Utah Jazz. So crazy upgrades for this team. So many surprises. It's a low-key, pretty exciting team to watch play this year. They're surprisingly good. I do think Jordan Clarkson has been their second leading scorer, and he should have gone up. But besides that, overall W for the Jazz. For the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox +1. He's been playing very well this season so far. We have Sabonis -2, making Fox the best player on the team firmly. We have Kevin Huerter, who goes up +3. He's been the second leading scorer on this team easily to a 79 overall, and he really should be like an 81. He's been very, very good. Harrison Barnes -2. And I think they really just made that to make sure that Kevin was the third best player on the roster. This team isn't bad. I think if you give Keegan Murray like another year, this team could actually do something. Maybe next season. Who knows? Only change for the Knicks is Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin goes +2. He's been playing very well for the little amount of minutes that he gets every single game. Would not be surprised if he gets a lot more minutes this season. He's looking very good so far for the Knicks. Besides that, no changes for anyone else. For the Los Angeles Lakers, you know, I'm kind of surprised. No upgrade for Anthony Davis. That's a shocker to me. But Russell Westbrook -1. See, maybe for the first couple of games I'd agree, but he's been playing very well off the bench. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with 2K downgrading him. I think he actually should be upgraded because I do think he's the third best player on this team easily. And it doesn't feel that way with the roster. Also, no Lonnie Walker upgrade, which I think it should have been at least a +1. But Matt Ryan, the savior of the other day, goes +3 to a 71 overall. He doesn't even have his face scan in 2K yet, which is hilarious to me. The Magic have a ton of upgrades. Paolo Banchero +5. He is looking like rookie of the year straight up. He's been looking very damn good. NBA ready for sure to do the bucket. You have Wendell Carter Jr. going -2. And then you have Bol +5. So Bol's actually getting minutes, first of all. He's actually playing very well with those minutes. He's a starter now. So 76 overall is commendable. I think everybody and their mother knew that he could be good in the NBA. He was just never given minutes. And now he is. And we have Mo Bamba, who's been having a terrible start to the season, -4. And then OKK -2. A lot of downgrades for this team, but also a lot of upgrades. It's interesting to see where they're going for the rest of the year. For the Dallas Mavericks, only one change, which is a really big surprise for me, is Luka Doncic +1. Obviously, he is 1 away from being the best player in the NBA. That's exciting for the Mavericks. But no Christian Wood upgrade? Christian Wood's like an 87 overall in my book. He's been averaging like 25 or 24. I don't know how you don't upgrade this man at least a little bit. I think that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't upgrade him at all. I think it's crazy. So for the Brooklyn Nets, Ben Simmons goes down -3. I mean, the guy has just not looked better whatsoever and is looking like a role player. So it's not offensive to say he should be an 80 overall because he hasn't shown anything otherwise. Patty Mills goes +2. He's always kind of hovering around the 74 overall range, so no surprises here. Now, for the Denver Nuggets, we have Jamal Murray -3 and Michael Porter +2. So that means that Michael Porter is the second best player on this team. Now, to be fair to Jamal Murray, you're going to have to give him a little bit. He has missed a substantial amount of time. It's going to take him a little bit to really get back into form, but Michael Porter Jr. has not cared about that. He has played really well immediately. It's impressive for the Nuggets. So for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton +2. I believe he's averaging the second most assists in the NBA right now. He's been very, very damn good. So making him the best player on the Pacers easily, it's not even a question. And then Benedict Mathurin +5. He's an 80 overall already in his career, which is super impressive. He's the third best player on the Pacers. Would not be surprised if it's even higher really soon. He's a bucket. For the New Orleans Pelicans, no changes besides Trey Murphy +1, almost in the 80 overall club. He's been kind of a little surprise for the Pelicans this year. He's been playing very, very well. You also have Jose Alvarado going -1, even though I think he should have stayed because I think he's been playing fine, but whatever. Up next, we have the Pistons. Hey, Bojan has been going crazy. +2 for Bojan. I think he's been averaging a positive of 20 points per game this season easily. I think he's borderline the best scorer on the team, like points per game wise this year. Then you have Cade Cunningham, who's having a very, very good season so far as well. I believe was also +2, something around that area. He's also been pretty good. And then Jaden Ivey +2 as well. And then Isaiah Stewart +2. Jalen Duren +2. I mean, you got to be happy as a Pistons fan. All your young talent and your veteran are playing very well. It's just that the NBA is so good right now that it kind of doesn't matter. You're not going to win games that way. But for the future, a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, and then you have, Sadiq Bey, 23, all playing at a pretty decently high level at below 23 years old is a really good sign for your future. You should be excited. For the Toronto Raptors, who have been actually pretty decent so far this year, Pascal Siakam +2, 88 overall. Now, this is a Siakam that I was kind of expecting to see after the 2019 championship and losing Kawhi. I was expecting a dominant player like this. I'm starting to see it. I see you, Pascal. Scotty Barnes +1. He's at an 85 overall, making him the second best player on the team. You have Gary Trent Jr. +1. I swear to God, I don't know why 2K doesn't want to make him in an 80 overall club, but I'm still begging for it to this day. For the Houston Rockets, Alperen Sengun +2. So we were talking about this guy for a little bit and how he looked like he was going to be very decent. And the Rockets have moments where they don't want to play him, but he has proven himself to be a valid player in the NBA so far. Would not be surprised if he ends up as solidly the second best player on this team this season. We have Tyree Eason, the rookie, +4 for him. Pretty crazy and kind of a steal for the Rockets for getting him this late in the draft and being that good. For the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson +2, 84 overall. The Spurs have no business winning games, and yet Keldon Johnson didn't really ask your opinion. He's playing out of his mind, hitting crazy good three-point shots, and being dominant under the basket while he's driving. He's a great player. I can't tell you much other than that. Devin Vassell as well, playing very good. +3 for him, making him 79. I would not be shocked if he enters the 80 overall club for the first time in his career this season. And then Zach Collins +1. He's always been pretty decent, but always injured. And when he plays well. No surprise here. So for the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul -1, making Devin Booker firmly the best player on this team, which is not a surprise. But this one's kind of a surprise. Miles Bridges +1, while DeAndre Ayton -1, making Miles Bridges tied as the third best player on the team over DeAndre Ayton. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but DeAndre Ayton was expected to be like a legit best center in the NBA candidate coming into the NBA, and to see him go down at the start of the season isn't a good look, but he's not playing bad. Jock Landale +3 down here. Listen, bro, it pains me when I see former Spurs playing well outside of the Spurs, because I'm like, bro, we should have just kept this man. He's playing well. Good for him. For the Thunder, SGA +2. The dude is putting up video game numbers, and that's because the rest of the team isn't necessarily very good. It doesn't change the fact that it's super impressive, the numbers he's putting up with this team. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Cat -2. We have Rudy Gobert -2, and Jaden McDaniels +2. So this team is not having the start that they necessarily wanted for the year. We have a three-way tie almost for the best player on this team. They're going to need to figure it out because they have the roster to win games. We're going to need to see that happen. For the Blazers, Dame goes back into the 90 overall club with a +1. He should have never left in the first place. But no plus or positive change from Anthony Simons is crazy. And then Shaedon Sharpe, the rookie, +2. So a couple of good changes for this team, but really shocking, no Simons upgrade. For the Warriors, only one change, and that is that Jonathan Kuminga goes -2. Besides that, no change for this roster whatsoever. And then finally, for the Wizards, we have Daniel Gafford -1, and then also Will Barton -1. Besides that, no crazy change for the Wizards either. So a couple changes here and there, some really big ones, some really negative ones. I want to know what you think in the comments below about all these changes, and if you like this kind of content, please join the pack and subscribe. See you guys next time.